Um, I acquired my spinal cord injury. So I have a spinal cord injury. It's a C5, C6. So it's in the neck region. When I was 15, so I was getting ready to go on a ski trip, and I thought, this is the first time I'm going skiing. Hopefully nothing happens to me. And I didn't make it out of the parking lot. So I dove off a railing into the snow in the parking lot, getting ready to go on the ski trip, and was whisked away to the hospital. First time breaking a bone.
I do have a question. How were you introduced to disability sport and sports that you were able to play?
Yeah, so I was in an acute hospital for 6 days. So that is like the medical hospital, if you will. So where they're making sure that you're still breathing, still doing all of the things that you should do, your surgeries and whatnot. And then from there, I transferred over to a rehab hospital where it was really more sustaining at that point. So it was the OTs, the PTs, the hand therapies, the rec therapy, all of the therapies was done at the rehab hospital. And the rehab hospital had a gym at the end of the hallway. And that is where the rugby team practiced. So 6 days after my spinal cord injury, I was introduced to wheelchair rugby, which if you haven't seen wheelchair rugby, it's one of the more violent disability sports. So it was like, you couldn't introduce me to like golf or bocce. It was wheelchair rugby right out of the gate. And then upon discharge, 3 months after being introduced to rugby, my doctor said, you know what, upon discharge, we really want him to get involved with the sport. We think rugby is a great option. But unfortunately, I had to wait another 3 months before I could start participating in it because I did have a fresh injury, and they wanted to give it time to heal and for all of the things, speaking totally non-medical here, to make sure that the injury was healed enough that if I did run into somebody in my rugby chair, that it wasn't going to do any additional damage to the spinal cord or to the fusion that they had to do. So where they took a plate, 4 screws, and basically screwed it into my spinal column or into the bones in the spinal column. So they had to make sure that fusion was set for enough time before I started running into people.